Hi, this is Jeff. I'm doing this video as a response to Allison on LinkedIn about a post that she made about the map of Africa and kind of the whole question about people are not aware that Africa is a continent, not a country. And I responded with a kind of a text post, and I want to do it in a video because the video get a lot more emotions and the kind of stuff, and you kind of hear the voice and stuff. So I kind of want to do it this way as well, kind of an extra answer, and I want to get the feeling of it, okay, and kind of the tension of how this, in my response, my anecdote here. So the whole thing is Africa is a country, and I said to Allison that that's my life story and my mission in life, okay, my cause in life, okay, to help people understand that. And so I said that I was in a role. I'm not going to mention the company name. I don't want to shame anybody here, uh, but but this is the whole diversity inclusion thing because I really want to make that clear here. This is where diversity inclusion makes sense. All this salary parity stuff is kind of a easy thing to deal with. This is where you get the real diversity inclusion kind of comments here, and this is how I deal with it. Um, so in a role a number of years ago, I'm not going to say what role I had, and I'm not going to say what company I had, but a boss, and I'm not going to say what level. Well, let's say in the leadership, okay, um, dared to ask me in a meeting in front of a bunch of peer managers, okay, um, and because I was recruiting some external people for a new position, and I'd actually brought another colleague from a previous job along with me, who was, of course, in the same situation here. So, um, uh, brought a colleague along, got him hired along with me. But I was recruiting for another position in my team, um, and so the boss, or I was actually a colleague, said in front of the boss, in front of all the managers, and this is leadership, okay? This is not just mid-level managers. This is kind of top-level managers. Okay, so the question that came to me is, Jeff, do you only know black people? Yeah, that was the question. Now, I have a really quick reply answer to this one. I mean, this is knee-jerk answer, bam. Okay, and you'll know why by my last comment about why I have this really response one. But this is what I said to them, okay? Um, and I gave this, and every time I give this, it kind of depends on the audience. So it kind of depends, and this is the way I respond to this audience when I heard that specific question in a specific audience of managers and directors in executive leadership in a leadership meeting about whether I just know black people about my recruiting. So what I did is I pull up my business card, and I'm not going to show the back side of it because that's the name of the company on the back side, okay? I pulled it back and I put that in the middle of the table, bam. And then I said, let's not forget, folks, that I did my doctoral thesis work, actually my master's and doctoral thesis work, in a university department that is specialized in African linguistics. One. Number two, that my master's and doctorate degrees and theses were on Caribbean Creole languages that were influenced by several various African languages. And number three was that I developed the only known speech-to-speech translation system for Haitian Creole in the Caribbean. And then number four, that in addition, I supported a boy in Haiti, for 10 years through an officially organized child sponsorship program for him to get the privileged chance to go to school in the conditions of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, that the people in this room take for granted and don't need to walk 5 kilometers barefoot on roads full of potholes to get to school. There's no public transportation there. And number five, and this is the one that, and for information, my adopted son is black. I can't explain the silence in the room at that moment. In French, they actually have in French we have we have a phrase. This it says "un ange passe." It I didn't have what we say in English. It's just kind of an angel passed over, and it's like there's silence, total silence. And I mean, this lasted for like it was lingering. The silence was lingering for like 30 to 45 seconds, or maybe more. People were squirming in their seats. This was just the most embarrassing moment you could imagine. And I was just sitting there smiling, and see who would be the next person to open up their mouth. Okay. And the thing is, no one in that company ever made another comment again about my hiring criteria. Okay. So Africa is a continent, not just one country, and there are thousands of languages in this continent. But yeah, that's my answer to that one, and that's my diversity and inclusion statement of the day. And I think that's where real the really rubber hits the road here on diversity inclusion. Um, and it's not just kind of a bunch of easy to do statistics on job parity stuff. This is the kind of comments you get, and this is the kind of bam I shoot back. And I've had a neighbor kind of, made a comment when I had my adopted son. I really wanted to say something in that situation because a neighbor, you can't do it, but you can say this in a job context because this is just a no-no here. So that's my answer.